Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in Central Virginia, and it's mid-March, which means the beginning of morel season. So I've already been seeing some posts of people finding morels. I've also been seeing a lot of posts of people who have never found morels even though they've been looking. Typically when I read the comments, I notice that they don't really have a strategy. They just kind of go out in the woods and hope for the best. My suggestion for people who have never found morels or beginning morel hunters is stop looking for morels. You need to be looking for trees. Morels are a mycorrhizal fungi that associate with certain species of trees. Here in eastern North America, those species include, but are not limited to, elm, tulip poplar, sycamore, hickory, ash, black cherry, pine. So the two most common trees for a morel hunter to look for are going to be elm and tulip poplar. I suggest not looking for elm if you're a beginning morel hunter because elms are much less common. They're harder to identify, and morels tend to only associate with dead or dying elm trees, which makes it even more difficult to identify an elm tree. So my suggestion is going to look for tulip poplars. The tulip poplar is an extremely distinctive tree. It's one of the largest trees in North America. This is a great example of one with my child. Note the distinctive, characteristic, perfectly vertical, straight trunk that has no branches until the canopy. This is a typical tulip poplar form. I'll take a walk around the other side so you can see it in the sunlight. That is what a tulip poplar typically looks like. Typically, if you look carefully at the canopy, you'll also see these seed pods still hanging on from last year. They don't look like anything that any other trees have on them, so they're very distinctive, easy to identify. You'll also find a lot of them on the ground, which is where I just found those two. And here's another thing I want to show you with tulip poplars. So I'm actually relatively new to this area. I just moved out here about 3 months ago, and I found this tulip poplar grove from a distance. I actually saw it when I was driving by it about a half a mile away, and let me show you how I found it. So this is another tulip poplar. It's got the 3 trunks growing out of one, but notice how they're still perfectly vertical. But I want you to notice how green that is right there. Compare it to the trees around it, which are not tulip poplars. So in my area of Virginia, and pretty much every area I've been to in Virginia, as well as North Carolina, tulip poplars are the first trees in the spring to start putting on green leaves. All these other trees that aren't tulip poplars don't have their leaves yet. So when you see a long brown tree line and you see some green trees in the middle of it, it's a good bet that those are going to be tulip poplar. And I happened to stumble across this nice grove of tulip poplars here that I'm going to be checking for morels. And that's how I find it, that green up there. So here's a good example. See all these trees over here that are still brown and leafless? Same with these ones over here. And then you have this real tall tree right here that's all green. That's a tulip poplar right there. That's how I find them from a distance. I see that green that really shows through all the brown on the tree lines. So it's still a little bit early and dry to find morels in my area. I know people are finding them, but after the next rain, I'm going to come out here and search for some morels. Today I just wanted to find some tulip poplars and make this video explaining how I look for morels. And hopefully it helps someone else find morels for the first time. And next time I make a video, hopefully we're out here picking morels. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.